It is the playoffs. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Scared, say you're scared. Dustin, we work all year to get to this point. I will have a rant about what that means to me and the core of my competitive being towards the
Yes.
back end of the show. But I'm fired up tonight because it's the playoffs. It is win or go home unless you have a bye, which is very nice. We do have a handful of byes between the two of us. But there are decisions to be made that will affect 3 months and thousands of hours that have gone into this silly game that we play.
Mm-hmm.
How is it looking for you? Are you excited about week 15? Are you nervous? Are you proud of yourself for this season? Was it injuries? Was it good luck, bad luck? Give me a snapshot of where
Yeah.
your mind is going into this week.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. This is one of the few weeks I've had where I have had extremely good luck. There were a couple leagues where I thought, man, I'm not even going to make the playoffs, and because my teams were starting to slide these last 4 weeks, and then miracles happened. I made the playoffs in one of our leagues by 0.17 points.
Which league?
And that is our fantasy fight club. I
Point
made
17.
0.17 points. I made it.
Incredible.
I will be in the playoffs. That's all that matters. You got to get into the dance, and then anything can happen. There, I continued my undefeated streak in one of our leagues. I'm 28-0.
28-0 because we play with a median in that league,
Right,
meaning he has
right.
to score more than 6 other people in that league to
Right.
get that win. 28-0. I've never seen anybody run the full table.
It's been
You are very
incredible.
close.
I did the math and I looked at the rankings. I've got 4 of the top 5 fantasy players in all of fantasy on that team.
No wonder you're 28.
Quite incredible.
It still takes great
Yeah.
decisions at the right time. I bet your accuracy in predicting who to start in that league is incredibly high.
For sure. Yeah, got really lucky. But man, we got a lot to talk about in this show, man. Not just for us playoffs, but playoffs for everyone listening. Playoffs for you, Travis. I know that you are in quite a few playoff-worthy positions in the 800 leagues that you are in.
We are, quick recap, we're in 28, we as in me and myself, 28 managed season-long leagues. Taking out the Scott Fish Bowl leaves us with 27. Scott Fish went great, went 9-2, made the playoffs, got hurt.
That's awesome.
It happens. But fully managed leagues, 27 of them. We're going to have 23 in the playoffs. 17 of 27 have a bye week this week. And that leaves me with 6 teams that have a game this week. So much less to keep up with.
That must be nice.
Down here in the mere mortal land of 6 leagues where you can actually cheer for certain players and not get scored on by them at the same time. Should be pretty fun.
What is this feeling?
I know.
That's awesome. Glad to hear it.
I've been lucky. I was looking at my leagues and how I got to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
A winning percentage of like 80% in redraft across 9 leagues.
Yeah.
All of my points against are like bottom 3 in the league.
I have noticed that in so many of
unreal.
our leagues. I'm looking. I'm like, Travis is in the playoff, but he's got like the third least points.
People
against.
just don't show up when it's time to play Travis. Their big guys just don't show up.
I've said it for years. You are the luckiest fantasy player I have ever seen in my life. But you have to have some of that. Like you have to. I'd rather be lucky than good.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot because we can't only predict so much. And once the games start, that's it. You just kind of cross your fingers. But
for sure.
Yeah, the points against have been unbelievably low across the board.
You know what else has been unbelievably low? The morale of anyone rooting for quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
What is going on with these quarterbacks? My grandpa would say they don't make them like they used to. They don't
make backups like they used to either.
Hell no. These backups come in and they're like, you know what? I can play. We can't even say it because some of these backups are good. Some of them not good. There's so many interesting situations. I don't think there's anyone that could have predicted this is how the NFL season would have gone. We've seen backups get traded twice, benched again. Dobbs.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was a short window there where people were paying like late first, a couple of seconds for
second.
Dobbs.
They're like, man, he runs. He's gonna be on this offense. He's gonna have JJ. Boy, we get in trouble when we think we know.
Yes.
But here we are. Dobbs benched for
Nick
God
Mullins.
knows. Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall. Pride of BYU. That's a heartbreaker. We lose Justin Herbert because why not?
He wasn't doing great recently anyway.
No,
maybe a blessing in disguise. It's since his hand
Yeah.
injury, he hasn't had a lot of big games.
We're going to talk about Herbert later in the show as well, but we can just kind of parlay that into this matchup with the Chargers in Las Vegas, though.
Here's the theme. Here's the theme. As we run through each game of Week 15 fairly briefly,
right?
It's going to take us a long time in this segment to get to quarterback names that we expected to start at this point coming into the season. Maybe 5 matchups before we're like, oh yeah, he was supposed to start.
I was reading through these and I'm like, there's so
I had to list them.
We are legitimately like half the league is playing with backup quarterbacks, and it's like
it's unbelievable.
What is really going on? Joe Flacco starts football games.
Do you think that it's affected the excitement of actual NFL games for fans?
No, you know what?
Will you be watching tomorrow night as if you were watching Herbert?
Well, no, because it's the Chargers and the Raiders. I'll probably have it on. I mean, it's not tomorrow night. It's 2 nights.
I mean, it's Thursday night. You won't nearly be as invested.
Well, no. I mean, it's ugly. No one wants to see Easton Stick versus Aiden O'Connell. Even when they were in college, no one wanted to watch that.
It's really weird.
But I mean, look, you still got the names. You still got Keenan Allen. You've still got, Devontae Adams, Eckler. These guys. I mean, they're still gonna be. Josh Jacobs is gonna be in the game. You're still
Josh
gonna
Jacobs
have,
with a quad injury might play, might not.
I think he
says
plays.
questionable. I do think he plays, but just keep an eye on it because it is an early game
for sure.
But you have to start those guys, like you said.
You have to start those guys.
Anybody
honestly,
else?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, no, I don't think anyone else is a must start. Jacoby Myers, you can. He's not a must start though. He's not
wide receiver 3 range.
Yeah, he's someone you could flex in a PPR league. I feel like if you need him. But yeah, to answer your previous question, no, this isn't a game I'm excited to watch because of, well, like you said, the marquee guys aren't playing. Herbert. I mean, look, even with Herbert playing, that offense was putrid. There is a good chance that the Raiders actually come in and win this game.
Yeah, it's sad what is likely going to happen to Keenan Allen here in the last few weeks.
It's
Max
frustrating.
Duggan, correct himself there. Hello, Ben. Thank you for joining. Max Duggan would bring some fans out in LA.
For sure.
I actually went to see. I flew to LA last year.
Yep.
About 11 months ago to watch Max Duggan play in LA. And they lost to Georgia by 170. It was wild. It was a very expensive 4-day trip to watch Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston not show up.
Yeah. I don't have confidence in anyone else, though.
Okay, so Eckler, Keenan, Adams, maybe Myers if you need a wide receiver 3, and Jacobs if he's playing. All right.
Sure.
Vikings
Let's move on to
at Bengals.
Another marquee matchup. Really excited to see Check's notes. Nick Mullins and Jake Browning.
Jake Browning's been balling. It's just weird that these names are leading these franchises in Week 15.
What's even sicker is that sicker? What's worse?
Sicker.
Is
real word.
Yeah, sicker. Right. Yeah, is that Justin Jefferson might not play, and just roll out the pain train.
I did see on SportsCenter late this afternoon that he does think he will suit up.
So
if you have Jefferson, be ready to plug him in. You cannot sit him.
He has he has an elbow. They're just gonna say he has an elbow. He's gonna be like, he's not gonna play. He's out for
He said coming into the game that his goal from Week 14 on was 1,000 more yards.
Shit.
I'm sure that's back down to like 800, but I do think he
Yeah.
has motivation to play. He wants to rack up as
Sure.
much as he can while he can.
I hope so. I mean,
Ty Chandler, if Madison is out,
no.
okay.
No.
All right, so you're staying away from that backfield. On the other side of the
Yeah.
ball, you're playing all Bengals because Jake Browning has been rolling with this offense.
I'd play Hawk though. We didn't talk about him. I'd play Hawk.
Oh yeah,
Hawk
Hawk
is-
is. If you were
Hawk's a
playing
lock.
quarterback, I would play Hawk.
Hawk is a lock. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Joe Mixon's been on fire.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins are fine. Chase Brown we'll get to later in the show. Won't touch on him right now, but
He's interesting. He's
that makes 4.
lightning in a bottle.
1, 2,
You
3,
can-
4, 5 with Browning. Startable pieces on the Bengals.
Yeah, and you know what? Desperation tight end streamer Tanner Hudson. I'm just gonna throw him out there.
Okay.
He's been
He
useful.
did score.
He's been a favorite target of Browning. So
Who wins that game? Nick Mullins or Jake Browning?
No, the Bengals win that game.
Okay. What about? Oh, you said you think Vegas might win that game versus LA.
Yeah, I think Vegas wins that game.
All right, so we got Vegas. I'll agree with you. I'll go also with Cincinnati. Pittsburgh at Ben's.
Hell yeah.
Indianapolis Colts.
Hell yeah, another Mitch Trubisky and Gardner Minshew game. I
What are the ticket prices for this right now? Ben,
think
can you
they-
look that up and get back to us?
Yeah, I
Ticket
think they
prices
actually-
to your Colts games.
They pay people, I think, to come inside. They're like, "Are you guys going shopping next door? Do you mind just stopping in here? Tickets, we've got them. Just please, no, please." And
If they are coming to watch, there's only one player they really want to watch right now, and that is
Mitch Trubisky,
Michael Pittman.
he's playing. Yeah, you know what he's doing?
Ball.
You know what he's-
Here we go. We need a drop
Yeah.
for this. I need to just say it in
He's
slow motion.
balling his dick off.
Dude, he has been so. I didn't realize he's been top 5 over the last
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, he is killing it.
Quite good.
Yeah, he's a top 10 play this week.
Are you playing Deontay? Are you playing Warren? Najee's banged up. Pickens, I
No.
can't play.
No, I can't
Pat,
play any
not
wide
really?
receivers. No wide receivers. No passing game options.
Okay.
For
Only
them.
Pittman. What about Zach Moss? We'll get to Zach Moss in a little bit also, but
Yeah.
while we're here, he's been quiet
Yeah,
the last 2
Zach
weeks.
Moss. Zach Moss. I think he's a solid. I think he'll be a running back 1 this week. I think he'll have.
What has he done the last 2? Let's check on Zach Moss.
Yeah. Let's.
I feel like it's
look
been
at that.
quiet.
He's
He's been okay. RB 27, RB 29. Not
Sure.
great, but a starting flex.
Yep.
Probably an
Thank
RB2
you.
this week.
Thanks, Ben, coming back. $90 a seat, Upper Bowl per Ticketmaster for those looking to attend that game. If you are, let me know, and I will say a prayer for you.
I think the Colts win.
I also think the Colts win. I think the Steelers are sad right now, not just as a team. I think they're just all generally sad. Having no quarterback, I'm really curious to see what the Steelers do because it's not like a team that's perpetually bad. Like they still have a winning record.
Could it be Justin Fields?
It's too soon. Look, I'll say this: if Justin Fields gets traded to the Steelers, I will be a Steelers fan, full on.
I agree.
100%.
We are in Justin Fields' corner
on
for
Justin
life.
Fields, for sure. Yeah, but speaking on the rest of the weapons here, Minshew is someone you can play in this game. 2 quarterback league, super flex. I feel like you should feel pretty confident that he'll not shit the bed hard enough for you to lose because of him.
15 points.
Oddly enough, the Steelers have actually been pretty good against quarterbacks. They've been pretty decent. Anyone else you want to talk about? Pittsburgh and Indy? I think Indy wins that game.
Indy wins. I'm starting Deontay as a wide receiver 3 flex if I need to.
Yeah.
I don't have big expectations.
Deontay
what you're
or
hoping
Jacoby
for?
Myers?
Probably Jacoby Myers. I think Deontay, you are banking on.
Yeah.
Or not banking on because that's weird to say with him, but you are
Sure.
really hoping for a touchdown.
For sure. Yeah.
That's just where the offense is right now. I feel like Jacoby Myers could touch the ball 8 times. We wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. I agree. Jacoby there.
All right, speaking of Justin
Yeah.
Fields and your
Hell yeah.
hat and your favorite team in all of sports, the Chicago
Damn
Bears.
right. Damn
Justin
right.
Fields versus Joe Flacco,
My
Super Bowl
guy.
MVP Joe Flacco. Who wins? Tell me who you like, who you don't like. I'll tell you where you were right or wrong.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna go with my Bears in this game. Okay, not a shocker there. But not just because big homer pick. I think yes, Cleveland's been playing well, but so has this freaking Chicago Bears defense. They are a top 5 defensive unit in the running game, and they're passing. They've been causing turnovers. They've been stopping people from scoring. Not just in division, but they've taken the Lions to task twice this year, now beating them. They've got grit. This offense looks better. Fields is the QB3 on the year. Holy cow.
Not on the year. Last week.
Last week. Yeah, last week. QB3 last week. I mean, it's hard to not root for Justin Fields and this Bears team right now, because I mean they've just got so much going for them.
Does he outscore Flacco?
Yeah, I think he
so.
outscores Flacco's. I expect a lot of running in this game, to be honest with you.
From Justin Fields?
From Justin Fields.
I'm nervous about the Bears' backfield. I don't know who is going to get it when, which is great for the Bears because the defense doesn't know who's going to get the ball. But I don't feel like anybody's going to be reliable back there the rest of the way. Barring health. If all three are healthy.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, so if we're getting into the weapons for this game, we can start with Chicago. DJ Moore, obviously, good. I feel good about Cole Kmet in this game.
Yep.
I feel like he's a solid play. Although Cleveland's probably the best team against tight ends in the NFL right now.
So expand on that, because we always talk about tight end is so touchdown dependent.
Right.
How does a team, other than preventing tight end touchdowns, how are they, in your mind, good against tight ends?
Points. So points given up, yards given up to the tight end. If you watch how the Cleveland Browns produce a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but the way that they play defense, their linebackers are really close to the line of scrimmage and they're athletic, so they're able to keep up with the tight ends. But Cole Kmet in this game, like I said, I think I like him this week. He's one of the favorite targets of Justin Fields, and I don't think the over under is a bunch in this game. I think the implied total for the Bears is like 17.
Okay.
I expect
I'll take the over
on that. I think they're going to hit the over on that. That offense has been clicking.
Ben had a question for you before you took it down.
Sorry.
If you could just leave that up there so he's not upset that you don't answer his question, that'd be great.
Why won't the Bears give Roschon more playtime? I'm assuming. It's because Foreman's playing well. Herbert is still there. Roschon fumbled last week.
Foreman's still there?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Foreman's playing well. Sometimes, I mean, it could be a number of reasons, but Roschon's not bad. He's just got competition.
They're also still trying to win every game.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like, let's just see what the rookies have. Well, they're trying to win every week, and they should have 2 or 3 more wins than they have.
I think heck, if you were to look at their record, they are 3 wins away or 3 touchdowns away from being, 5-8 right now, from being 8-5.
They had Detroit beat.
Yeah, they've lost 3 one-score games, and this defense is getting better. Which is, I mean, look, I don't want to go on another Chicago diatribe because that usually ends up where I end up. But the Bears are going to be a lot different than we think at the end of the year. And there's a solid. I would support either way that we go, but I would love to see the Bears build around Justin Fields. Weapons: DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Foreman if you're in a pinch. Cleveland side, I'm in on Amari. I like Njoku after last week, and I love Ford in this game. Not so much in the running. But the check down, look, if Ford doesn't play, gear up for Hunt. I think he's going to get a bunch of targets in this one.
All right, I like it. We both have Chicago winning that one. Next is Tampa Bay at Green Bay. The Battle of the Bays, if you will. Baker Mayfield, almost sounds like another
Hell yeah.
Bay. Baker versus Jordan Love. And the Fighting Rashad Whites. Running back 5 on the season.
You love to see it. You do. You love to see it.
At what point, where does he have to finish for my unbelievably criticized take that he is Le'Veon Jr.? If he finishes top 5, does that take hit? I mean, he wasn't drafted inside the top 20.
No. Look, it was a lightning take. I like it. I think he is force-fed the ball, kind of like Le'Veon was.
And through the air.
Yeah, he's their only back right now. So
and goal line. I mean, he's dominating.
He's not efficient. He's not efficient with his touches, but he gets a lot of them. And in fantasy, it doesn't really freaking matter when you get the volume. What do we say? Volume is king. So
yes. I love him in this matchup too. Saquon Barkley just torched them. I like Rashad White to have another top 5 week.
I mean, he's facing an opponent that's top 10 in running backs points above expectation. So I'm all for Rashad White.
All right. Mike Evans, quiet week. Chris Godwin, another lackluster, 10 points.
Yeah.
Godwin's been really disappointing. He's outside the top 36. Reed for Green Bay looks like he's here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
He looks nice.
Jaden Reed is going to challenge for that number 2 role on that team.
And who's he challenging for that?
Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs?
No, yeah. It's Dobbs. I think Watson and Reed is way more dynamic. Dobbs is the third.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a dynamic
targets,
receiving
touches.
room.
Going into next year, I would project that Romeo Doubs is the third.
Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see them mature next year, see whether, Jordan Love is around the guy that they want to, continue with. But in this game,
he will be.
In this game, I'm all in on Evans. Godwin has been challenging to watch, but I'm in for Rashad. I'm in for Evans. Jaden Reed looks good. I'll put him in a PPR league, and Dobbs is a low end wide or middle to low end wide receiver 3.
Okay.
So
Ben, thank you for the flowers on the Rashad White take. It means a lot to get some flowers from you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Green Bay wins this game, or does Tampa beat them?
I think this is a game that Tampa is going to come in and take.
I agree. Wow, look at us lining up all the way across the board.
Yeah, I love it.
Houston and Tennessee. C.J. Stroud concussion protocol will probably be cleared versus Will Levis, who just came back. And I don't know what to call what happened at the end of that game other than Tua fucking blows.
Tua,
he blows, bro. He was blowing his
dick off.
He sucks.
Tua, look, man.
He sucks. Imagine Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mostert, A-Chain with that system, and you have a gunslinger with a real arm.
I mean, look, Tua struggled without Tyreek, and justifiably so. He's the number 1 weapon in the entire NFL. So that guy's going to be a game changer. But yeah, it's not like he had no weapons.
Tua sucks.
I don't think Tua sucks. I think he has been in the exact environment he needs to succeed. He's a world-class distributor. Let's not get it wrong. I'm not going to come out here and say he's Drew Brees.
There's at least 15 or 20 starting quarterbacks who, if they were in Miami, would do more than Tua's doing.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Kirk Cousins healthy or Tua in that system?
Oh, well, sure. I mean, I'd go Kirk Cousins.
Jared Goff.
I honestly think Tua and Jared Goff are very similar. So
I would take Goff all day.
I wouldn't. I would probably take.
He
Tua.
can throw.
They can both throw.
Tua is shot putting this fucking thing. He's throwing floaters all over the field. When it comes out of his hand, the receiver is tracking it down in the air and has no idea when it leaves his hand what they're going to have to do to
Jared Goff,
catch it.
I mean, do you know how many interceptions has he thrown in the last? Goodness gracious, he's thrown what 5 interceptions in the last 4 weeks. I'm good. I'm good.
He's lucky. He's me in fantasy. He's lucky.
For sure.
In real life, I just can't watch him and think he's good. Justin Herbert went after Tua in the draft.
He did.
If Justin Herbert went to Miami, I mean, Justin Herbert's had weapons. He's been great where he's at.
Sure, it's different.
If let's just say this hypothetically, if Miami and the Chargers traded 1-for-1 going into next season, is Justin Herbert your number 1 overall quarterback?
He's probably damn close.
Over Allen, Hurts, Mahomes.
I don't know about Allen because Allen's been absolutely murdering things.
I would take Herbert as the first quarterback off the board.
I think I'd take Allen, but then I would probably take Herbert right there with Hurts. You know, it's right there.
Tua sucks. Houston and Tennessee, Stroud versus Levis. Texans wide receiver room is in shambles. I don't think Nico Collins will play. I haven't heard anything yet. Dalton Schultz, I tweeted this yesterday, will come back and see a major volume role the rest of the season.
Oh.
He should be inside your top 5 or 6 tight ends weekly. I think rest
so.
of the way.
I don't think so.
No Tank Dell, a hurt Collins.
No, I don't. Look, they don't have Tank Dell.
8
they don't
targets
have Collins. Noah Brown was a no-show. I don't get excited unless it's a Kittle or a Laporta. Like Dalton Schultz is not someone I'm like, oh man, he'll run this offense. No, he needs the offense to be good. No, he won't. He will be a top 18 tight end. Congratulations.
Holy shit. He's outside your top 10?
Yes, he's outside my top 10.
Why? He was so good before he got hurt.
This offense can't run the ball. He's good because he had Nico Collins and Tank Dell on that offense. Without them, they're not going to score points. And what do we need for tight ends to be relevant? We need them to score touchdowns.
14, 21, 17, 29, 12, 12. Before injury, that is easily a top 10 tight end.
Sure.
Now
Where are
you
the other
take
weapons?
Tank Dell out?
You're assuming that you always get this many fantasy points, and guess what? We don't have as many places to go, so they give them to Dalton Schultz. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
There's more of the pie to go around. I think he gets a little bit.
He will get more volume. I will say
he will get more
volume. Yeah, sure. He may get 8 targets a game, and he will get 60 yards, and he will be a tight end 18.
If he's getting 60 yards a game, he will be a top 5 tight end.
No. I don't think he'll be
60 yards a game is almost 1,200 yards on a season. That's a huge pace.
If he's but you said he's a top 5 tight end. He's not going to be a top 5 tight end. And
no. Rest of the way, I think he should be around 5 or 6. He's for sure a top 10.
Do you think he's going to outproduce Kittle? Do you think he's going to outproduce Kelsey?
No.
Laporta? Kincaid?
Right
Hawkinson?
I think he'll be right with
McBride?
Kincaid.
Ingram even?
Right
Ferguson?
Right
no. Hell no. He's not going to score.
Call.
I don't think he's going to score a single touchdown. Like
why? Why would he not?
Because
that's what he was doing for 6 weeks straight.
Okay, exactly. Ben, this is a great comment.
Which side of Hunter Henry were you on?
Yes, I loved it. And then I came to my fucking senses and I realized, the okay tight end on this bullshit team doesn't matter.
He's absolutely inside the top 10. I think, yes it's a little bit bold. I think 5 to 6.
I'm not saying he can't
You're
get
saying
inside
18.
the top 10. I think this week, I think this week he's not a top 10 tight end. I do not think so.
If Nico Collins is out, it's Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, Xavier Hutchinson, and
he's
Mechie.
facing Tennessee, who has been the second best team against the tight end position. It's not going to happen.
So CJ Stroud's just going to throw the ball 20 times in the game.
No, he may throw it 40 times.
To who?
Name some players on that goddamn team. And
Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson,
sure,
Robert Woods.
You know what it equals, Travis?
No.
You know what it equals? It means that the team is going to suck donkey dick. That's what's going to happen. This team is going to suck against Tennessee.
I don't
It's
care
gonna-
if they win the game. The volume has to be there for Dalton Schultz if he's healthy. There's nowhere else for the ball to go
Okay,
before
all right.
he looks at him. We
he'll
will
be,
revisit next week. He's inside the top 10 this week. Guaranteed. Lock it in.
I disagree.
If he catches a touchdown, he's a top 6.
I think Houston will lose this game.
It wouldn't shock me. This is a toss-up of a game. DeAndre Hopkins, on another note.
Yeah.
Since Will Levis took over, since
Yeah.
their Week 7 bye,
Yep.
is the wide receiver 5.
Yep.
That is league-winning production. Speaking of
He's-
Dalton Schultz and DeAndre Hopkins, in that
Yep.
Super Mario League, I traded with you. I traded with Coach Bruce,
Yep.
Dalton Schultz for DeAndre Hopkins straight up.
Yep. That was an interesting trade.
It was a
I don't
sales
know.
pitch.
I don't know how he did that.
In 3 weeks from right now, DeAndre Hopkins' value falls off a cliff.
Oh, for sure.
And what I think, and also Coach Bruce thinks, is over the next 3 weeks, Dalton Schultz' value jumps right back up inside top 10 dynasty tight end. I think I said dynasty tight end. What I meant to
Dynasty
say
tight
was
ends, yes.
dynasty tight end.
We got a lot of matchups to go.
All right, let's take a break from the matchups. We'll come back. Let's just do some quick Week 15 pick ones.
Okay, let's do some
Change
pick
up the
ones.
pace here.
All right.
I'll tell you the question, you tell me who and why. I won't debate
Okay.
it either way. I will only debate it with my facial expressions.
Okay.
Sorry for Spotify and Apple Podcast people. Russell Wilson versus Detroit or Tua versus the Jets?
I'm going to go with Russell Wilson.
Thank you. Kyler versus San Francisco or Will Levis versus Houston?
I'm going to go with Will Levis.
Wow. I love you right now. Fuck Kyler Murray. DeAndre Swift versus Seattle or Zach Moss versus Pittsburgh?
That's going to be a Zach Moss.
I agree. Zeke versus Kansas City or David Montgomery versus Denver?
David Montgomery.
I want
Kansas
to
City's
go-
incredible against the run.
I want to go Monty, but we know Zeke's 18 touches are coming.
He'll have the volume. Is it going to be any good volume?
He looked good.
Denver's,
Okay, we'll see.
yeah.
Gus Edwards versus Jacksonville or Spears versus Houston?
Oh, Spears easily.
He's lighting it up.
Easily. And Jacksonville is lights out against the running back. So, yeah, that's Spears.
All right, Rashee Rice versus New England or Calvin Ridley versus Baltimore?
Rashee Rice is going to have a monstrous game in this game.
Wow. Monstrous. Maybe a big pick of the week.
He could be.
I'll go Calvin Ridley versus Baltimore. Deontay Johnson versus Indy or Chris Godwin versus Green Bay?
Gross.
Both gross. I was about to say these are both gross.
I'm having a bad time now. I'm gonna.
Why'd you have
I'm
to
gonna-
end it like that?
I'm gonna pick Deontay. I'm gonna pick Deontay. He is. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Deontay.
All right, I'll go with Godwin, but it's a toss-up.
Yeah, I'd win.
Okay,
Ugh.
coming back up now.
Yeah.
Where were we? Something about
we were
Tua
talking about
sucking.
Houston and Tennessee. We're moving on to New York Jets.
Oh wow, we get to talk about the Dolphins. That's fun.
Great. Oh my God. Great.
Good timing.
Whose mom did Zach Wilson get into that he played so well last week?
He really looked good.
My God, he woke up, that lady packed him a lunch and said, "Get out there and get him." And he did.
Just like that.
And
Get out there and get him.
get out there and get him. I'm so excited for him to come home to his new stepkids and be able to just tell them all about this game.
I beat the mighty Tua from Hawaii. He's really from
Yeah.
Alabama, but he's a
To-
Hawaiian elephant, and I beat him.
Oh my God. Moving on. Zach Wilson to Alabama. Garrett Wilson, man. I don't like any of the options for the Jets in this game. The pass defense for Miami has been Very good.
Question.
Okay.
How many yards did DeAndre Hopkins just have against them? Over under 175.
I honestly don't know how much he had.
Over under 180.
Did he have over 180
No, I
yards
don't think he
against
did.
them?
I think he had
I
18
was gonna
fantasy points.
Jesus Christ.
It felt you
I'm like, what?
hesitated.
Like, what the
He
hell just
was
happened?
everywhere. It felt like 180.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, though, should break 75 to 100. Maybe he gets in the end zone. You still have to start him right now, right? After a 20-point day?
Yeah, I think you do. I don't know what better choice you have. I don't know that he's going to be a wide receiver too this week. I mean, Ramsey and Howard are still really good. At least it's. I mean, it's in Miami.
Did Howard play? Did he get up when he fell down?
Yeah, he
Okay.
played last week. Yep.
No, he stayed down. He's still down.
Yeah. I think, look, big games like that happen. I think, though, as a divisional opponent, they know this team. Miami put it on the Jets last time. I think Miami wins this game. But, I mean, yeah, because I don't expect Tyreek to be out this game.
No, he's fine.
Yeah. I don't. It was a nice game for the Jets to have a bounce back game, but I expect Miami to win this game.
Brees Hall, number 2 running back on the week with 26
Hell yeah.
points. Would be a great time for Brees Hall to come alive here in the fantasy playoffs.
You know who doesn't get enough talk, though, and he's just as high of a marquee name as Patrick Mahomes? That's Bailey Zappi.
He had 24.
Yeah, he put up some points. Look, you're starting Kelsey in this game. You're starting Rashi. You're starting Zeke. Goodness, I don't think you're starting CEH. I don't like CEH in this game.
Really trying not to start anybody
Yeah.
in the backfield for Kansas City.
For sure. Zeke, you try to play. I don't know if Pop Douglas is playing. I'll have to look that up.
No news yet.
Okay.
Juju Smith-Schuster's played 98% of snaps the last 2 weeks. Went over 100 yards, I think, last game, or close to it.
Wow.
Sneaky play versus his old team, the Chiefs?
Maybe.
Desperation flex.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
so.
we don't need to spend more time on this one. Chiefs win.
Yeah.
You're starting your big guys. You're staying away from the questionables. Giants and Saints at New Orleans. Tommy DeVito versus Derek Carr. More like Saquon Barkley versus Alvin Kamara. Wandale showed life, your boy, but I don't trust any pass catcher outside of Chris Olave in this game. Can you think of one, not including Taysom Hill, that you trust? That's it.
No.
Olave, Barkley, Kamara. You're playing DeVito in deep super flex leagues if you need him.
Yeah.
Get Taysom Hill in your flex if he plays.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to play. He's pretty beat up.
Taysom?
Yeah.
Okay. He should be. I mean, he's gotten a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, that guy, he just takes hits all over the place. He looks like a man out there.
Giants or Saints? Who wins?
Goodness gracious. I'm going to go Giants. I'm going to
I'll
go
go
Giants in that
Saints.
game. Oh, wow. All right.
Atlanta and Carolina. Desmond Ridder looking the
love this
part
game.
against bad teams.
I love this game.
Bryce Young looking the part of anything but a number 1 overall pick. I know he doesn't have much of a chance. I get it. He's in a horrible situation. He's tiny.
He's just a tiny little baby.
I
He's just
can't
a little
buy it.
baby.
Ben says Tommy
Yeah.
Cutlets over Daniel Jones.
Is that a name? If that's not his actual nickname, that needs to be his nickname.
I think it is. I think it's an
Tommy
Italian
Cutlets.
thing. Chicken
I like
cutlets.
Yeah.
He does look so much better than Daniel Jones. Most quarterbacks do.
No, it's hard to look worse. He's
Yeah.
going to look great out there.
Atlanta weapons coming alive. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan
Yeah.
Robinson, all very
You
strong
can start
starts
them
this week.
all. Chuba Hubbard, though, you have to play him. Thielen, if you have no other options, really.
I'm treating
he's-
Thielen kind of like Jacoby and Deontay. Should get around
Sure.
8 to 10 targets, 60 to 70 yards. You hope for the touchdown.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, PPR leagues, he'll be enough not to hurt you a ton.
Atlanta wins.
Yeah, I think Atlanta wins, and I love that. getting us closer and closer to a decision about Caleb Williams.
Why do
on the
you love
Bears.
that?
Because then the Bears get the number 1 pick.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a Arthur Smith fan for a second.
No, if there's a way for the Falcons to win but Arthur Smith to lose, I would love that. That would be great. Like if like a little asterisk where it says Arthur Smith 0-1. Just that'd be great.
What do you think his job security is actually like?
He probably has a bunch of job security. I
Okay.
fucking hate it.
So he's not worried at all right now.
No, he's rich. He goes
Yeah.
home and I don't know, butters himself and then looks in the mirror. I don't know what he
Watches Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson highlights.
Oh yeah, these guys are the
I can't wait to play them.
Team. You guys see the way Jonnu Smith blocks? My God.
I can't wait to get these guys at the game. Piss off fantasy owners everywhere. Atlanta wins. Washington and the Rams.
Yeah,
Sam Howell versus
Washington.
Stafford. Who wins?
Yeah, this boy oh boy. They're at the Rams. I have no fucking clue, but I think that the Rams are gonna win.
Yep.
Washington, fun to watch. You watch them; they throw bombs, and that offense a lot of moving parts. But I think that the Rams win this. Puka and Kyron and Cup is getting banged up, but he's still playing well. I think I'm really interested in seeing what the over under on this game is. Because boy, that is Matt Stafford's gonna have himself a field day.
I agree. I think Howell does too. I like all the weapons you can possibly
that's
get
a
in this
huge
game.
over under. That's a huge over.
What is it? 52, 54?
Well, the implied points for the Rams are 27.75. So, holy cow!
Probably 52, 50.
Yeah.
I think the Rams win. I'm starting everybody. If Brian Robinson does not play, I'm okay starting Antonio Gibson as a flex.
Yeah. Without Brian Robinson, Gibson would be someone that you could definitely flex. He'll have a good amount of work. Other than that, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas is someone I would be looking to play as well.
All right. San Francisco at Arizona. Brock Purdy versus Kyler Murray. Two names that we like to say compared to the earlier names. All I have on the sheet is San Francisco by 40 points.
I don't think they win by 40.
You know who you're starting, though. We don't need to spend time on this. You're starting the guys that got you here. You're starting James Conner. I don't love starting Hollywood Brown, but you probably need to as a third.
You're starting Trey McBride.
Yes. This one's a self-explanatory matchup. Play who you need to play. San Francisco wins. Arizona should be coming from behind. Dallas at Buffalo. Dak Prescott versus Josh Allen. This is the game of the week in the NFL. Again, I'm starting everybody that I have from these teams. The offenses are too strong.
Agreed.
My goal is for the over-under to go over 60 in this game.
Brandon Cooks or Gabe Davis?
Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
I think he's looked at more. Gabe Davis, I picked him last week as a big pick of the week. He rewarded me with a 0 on 2 targets.
Yeah, you sure did.
It's just so risky. At this point in the season, he could give you 20, but he could give you 0.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody who could give me a 0.
He's good at giving you 0.
He had like 4 zeros in the last 7 games.
He's definitely a what's
It's
in
too
the
risky.
box player.
Give me Brandon Cooks. Give me the 10 with a chance at 16.
Ben, to answer your question, Kincaid or Fergie, I'm probably going Kincaid there. Probably going Kincaid.
I like both. I lean Ferguson because I think Dawson Knox is going to be a little bit annoying here at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't like him on the field, but he's going to be on the field.
I like Kincaid.
All right. Last matchup on Sunday. Baltimore at Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Lamar Jackson versus Trevor Lawrence. Again, can't wait to watch this game. Starting everybody on these teams with confidence outside of the running backs for Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, Keaton Mitchell's not getting enough work. Gus Edwards has seen a decreased role.
If I had to pick one, I'd pick Mitchell.
Yeah, just for the home run potential.
Yeah.
And he gets receiving work. So, yeah, I would say, start your weapons. Likely is a fun play in this game. Zay Flowers, low end wide receiver 3 for me. Yeah, and then your running backs. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just likely in the passing game. Odell could be an upside wide receiver 3
I'm
for
fine
me.
playing Odell.
I don't feel great about it, but yeah, you can in a pinch. I don't know how much of a better option you would have. It's more of a Odell Beckham. Yeah, like Odell Beckham or Gabe Davis. Odell Beckham.
Now that's a comparison.
That's
that I'd probably go Gabe.
Sure. I mean, it's they kind of have the same.
It is, yeah, it does.
Range of outcomes.
That's what Gabe Davis does. He sneaks into your head, and you're like, oh, 20, and then he gives you the 0.
Yeah,
We're gonna go Odell. Fuck Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I pick Odell there.
All right, I think Baltimore wins.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Baltimore
Philly at Seattle, Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts versus, I think, Geno Smith. We'll see. I'm nervous for another quiet backfield game from Seattle. I'm starting to not like what's going on in their run game, and Philly's not going to make it much better.
No, Philly doesn't usually calm your fears in the running game. Kenneth Walker, only eight rushes last week. Yeah, I think that this game, if Geno plays, which I think I would expect him to given the longer rest period that he had, the passing weapons I'm still okay with. I think Tyler Lockett is going to be okay. I think DK Metcalf get his head on right. I think he can have another nice game. Geno Smith is fine in a super flex 2-quarterback league. And then you play all your Eagles weapons. Smith, Brown, Goddard, Swift, all of them. You start them all.
All right. I've got some deep dart throws, some defensive streamers this week, and then we can move on.
Yep.
Deep darts. Joe Flacco versus Chicago. We already talked about him. He's had 16 and 19 in the last 2 weeks. If you need a desperation quarterback, he should be just fine, especially in 2-quarterback leagues. Jake Browning versus Minnesota. 26.6 and 19.7 in the last 2 weeks. That is top 10 quarterback play. Fire up Jake Browning. He should stay in that rhythm versus Minnesota. Chase Brown, running back behind Joe Mixon versus Minnesota. Same game, 20 touches over the last 2 weeks for 25 points for Chase Brown. I'm not saying he's going to start getting more than 20, 25% snap share, but if something were to happen to Joe Mixon, which it has in the past, Chase Brown looks like he could be a very valuable handcuff. And I think he's playable this week as a flex. Zay Jones versus Baltimore. Christian Kirk is done. Zay Jones has played 90% of snaps over the last 2 weeks on average. He's on the field. He's got Trevor Lawrence. Should be a decently high-scoring game. You could do worse than Zay Jones as a third or a flex. Finally, Tucker Kraft, averaging double digits over the last 3 weeks in tight end premium leagues. He has played almost 100% of snaps since Musgrave went out. There are much worse deep dives than Tucker Kraft at tight end. Defensive streams of the week. Kansas City versus New England. I think the Chiefs are angry, rightfully so, even though that was offsides. Big bounce back game for the Chiefs. I think their defense absolutely gets after the Patriots. Eagles versus Seattle, especially if Geno does not play. We do think he will play, but keep an eye on it. Either way, I think the Eagles are also angry. They've gotten manhandled the last 2 weeks. I think they take it out on Seattle. Atlanta versus Carolina. We already talked about Carolina has basically no weapons right now. Atlanta is playing hard for whatever reason. I think they can win the division.
For sure.
And this is a key matchup. You have to take care of easier teams. I think they win this one by 14, 15 plus.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Goodness, yeah, that's going to be a good game.
For Atlanta.
For Atlanta. Yeah, that's going to be a good game in terms of getting to watch the Panthers lose.
Yes.
Absolutely. On to a separate changing gears in the portion of the show. Let's talk some Dynasty. While we've got a minute, we'll talk some Dynasty. Because you know what? It doesn't always have to be about the playoffs, whereas that is the overwhelming, talking point right now. But just to kind of change it up, what are we doing with all of these rushing quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Travis? Because you've got the offseason coming, okay? And we're all just kind of preparing our mindset for the only thing we have on these players is their quote unquote value. Like how valuable are they? Who can you trade for who? Guys, I'm talking about, obviously Jalen Hurts, and then you've got guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, he's a rushing quarterback. Kyler Murray, rushing quarterback. Anthony Richardson, when he comes back, he is a rushing quarterback. Fields is another one.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell does not run. Sam Howell does not run.
That was a good one, Trav.
Sam Howell has 243 rushing yards.
Oh, he's hitting that 300 easy.
I don't know, buddy.
It's gonna be close.
I think. He had 20 yards last game. It's gonna be close.
What are you telling me? What are you telling me about these rushing quarterbacks? Because I don't think they're more often injured based on what we've seen this year than everybody else.
It's not so much about injuries, just a general question of what are we doing, because we're gonna have more and more of these quarterbacks entering the league. Just off the top, you've got guys who don't necessarily have to run, like you got your Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert can run, but he's not necessarily a running quarterback. We've got a guy coming in the NFL. Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman. He's going to be probably a coveted prospect. My question is, how I guess aggressive are you being in trying to trade for these guys, or trade them away? Because not just the injury factor, but we've seen, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't run as much as he used to. Like I said, Kyler Murray tore his ACL, comes back, he doesn't run as much as he used to. What are your thoughts in comparison to like guys like Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, guys who don't necessarily run?
I think I'll probably lean more on the guys that don't. I would like to, and I've been able to do this, a strategy I've done this year is get one of each in Superflex leagues.
Sure.
Fields with Herbert. Allen with somebody less mobile. Somebody like...
Right.
I mean, you're rarely going to get an Allen Burrow combination, but like...
Right.
Dak Prescott, I don't think of him as a running quarterback.
Yeah. No, he doesn't run.
But he's
like
going to give you enough. Patrick Mahomes is going to give you enough.
Sure. Trevor Lawrence gives you enough.
Yeah, this isn't something that's changing where I'm drafting them, because yes, Justin Fields is in the top 10, or was this past offseason. He was being drafted inside the top 10 in Superflex leagues because of his legs. And he's going to finish inside the top 10 because of his legs. I'm okay with that. I want that upside on my team because it's really hard to go over 30 unless you run.
Right. I agree.
So your matchup winning games are much more common with the runners, but they do have a little bit lower of a floor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun on paper to see Lamar and Fields on the same team on your roster, but I would prefer to have one pocket passer that has a for sure 10 to 12 year window. I know that's super far out.
For sure.
But I don't know if I answered your question or not. I think balance is the key.
That's fair. I just like having the conversation. I like talking about him because I think that is where we're going to, here in the next 5 years, we're going to have an NFL where the rushing upside of your quarterback isn't necessarily this big advantage that it used to be. Where you have more than half the league, and that's essentially what you look for. If you've got 15 to 16 guys in the league who realistically are rushing threats, That's more starters than you would typically have in your regular standard home league. So
Very true. The position feels deep.
yeah, it's getting deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I guess what I'm getting at. But moving on to a guy that I did mention, and I feel is in a very unique scenario, is Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is talked about a lot, but I don't think he's talked about in this way. In terms of this may be the worst we see Mahomes for a while. We've got
So you're saying this isn't going to be normal?
no, I don't think this is normal.
Why not?
So Patrick Mahomes has no weapons right now, essentially, other than Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is still the tight end one, but that's just because Travis Kelce is a Hall of Fame tight end. He's kind of lost that edge that he has on the rest of the pack, though. It's not like he is a 7 point a week advantage kind of guy anymore. TJ Hawkinson has him, pretty much dead even. Sam Laporta is right there with him. George Kittle's right there. You don't have this huge advantage anymore. And you've got Rashee Rice, who over the last 4 weeks is a top 2, as a wide receiver 2, and he's a wide receiver 31 on the year. I think he'll improve. They're going to bring in more competition, but they're going to bring in more talent overall. We're talking about what this does to benefit Mahomes. I think this is going to be the worst this offense looks for quite a while, because I do not believe that this team will take this season, especially if it does not end in a Super Bowl run, lightly. And I think they're going to attack that position and give Mahomes the weapons, because he's already shown a propensity to want to do what's best for the team and the people around him, get him more weapons to maximize their competition window.
So you're saying Kelce comes back,
Yep.
plays another 2+?
I think 2+ is probably not going to happen. I think he's probably got a year, maybe 2.
So what do you think happens to the Chiefs when Kelce leaves? What do you think happens to Mahomes?
Look, Mahomes is not made just by Travis Kelce.
If Kelce retired right now,
Yeah.
and you had Mahomes, and somebody offered you Josh Allen in Dynasty, you're taking it easy.
Yeah, I would take Josh Allen there for sure.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I would take Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking same tier guys, right? So you're talking
yes, but in every Superflex,
right,
Patrick Mahomes was drafted first or second.
right.
Justin Herbert?
Personally, I would probably still take Mahomes.
I would too. Okay, so he falls back to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that's until we see that. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Ben agrees with you, by the way. He says it's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen where, let's say if it's this year or next year, Kelsey's going to retire, okay? And there's going to be a whole bunch of panic, and we're going to hear these stats about, the whole offseason is going to be talking about, Mahomes performed this way in games without Kelsey and all this. But here's the thing. When you lose Kelsey a week before he's expected to play or in season, you don't have an entire offseason to have a game plan. Kelsey retires. They build an entirely new game plan. Mahomes is going to be fine. Mahomes will always be top 8, performer with weekly upside of being QB1. You're going to find guys that he can rely on. They're going to find guys. I'm not worried about him. Mahomes is going to make weapons. He doesn't need weapons, is what I'm getting at.
I agree. And if he does land a bigger name, he would immediately be the number 1. What if Devontae Adams goes to the Chiefs? If he forces his way out and he lands with the Chiefs, Mahomes is back to 1 over Allen.
Yeah. You get Devontae Adams.
That's all it takes. You're right. All he needs is a weapon.
Yeah.
This is a buy window for Mahomes then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like you said, this is that worst point. I traded away Mahomes for Allen and Mostert on a competing team.
Yeah.
I'd do it again because It gives me a
Why
better
not?
chance to win right now, and they will likely be within 2 to 3 points, regardless of who's on what side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna finish with a rant then, unless you have something else to
No.
say tonight.
No, hit me with that rant, man.
I just spoke of trading away Patrick Mahomes, which is a dynasty no-no for the most part.
For sure.
My mindset, and you know this well, and our closest friends in the industry know this well. If you have a team that you think can win the ring in Dynasty this year,
Yes.
you need to value your future picks and younger players that aren't producing or are hurt so much less valuable than you do. Example, Tank Dell for Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
If you acquire Cooper Kupp and he becomes your best or second best receiver, a guy that you don't even think about who I'm starting at wide receiver, 6 to 8 point upgrade on paper. You have to do that deal.
Yeah.
If you don't do that and you keep Tank Dell in your IR and you start a wide receiver 3 instead of Cooper Kupp, which is the difference in 6 to 10 points, what are we playing for?
Yeah.
That's a question that it eats me alive inside. If we're not playing to win the Super Bowl every year
Right.
that you're in the playoffs, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. No, I mean that is the ultimate question for people.
It feels like
competing
a cop out. It feels like,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not going
sure.
to do that. I'm going to keep my young guy. Oh, well, if Tank hadn't gotten hurt, I would have won. That doesn't put money in your pocket.
No.
You don't
No,
get the
it
gold
doesn't.
badge. You don't get the ring. You don't get whatever your league gives you. A
For sure.
wrestling belt like our home league.
Yeah, we get
Fuck
lost
the
in
future.
Yeah.
Win. You're here. The off season is 8 months long. This
Yeah.
season is 3 months long.
For
People
sure.
like us put thousands and thousands of hours into this game for fun. We're talking $25 to $50 buy-in.
Yeah.
It's for fun. Compete to win.
Yeah.
I
agree.
know we need to have some people on this offseason that can argue the other side of it
For sure.
for sustained success that will give you a better chance to win for a longer period of time by not
Yeah.
chasing what's right in front of you. I understand the mindset.
Yeah.
But when you're only 2 weeks away from hoisting the trophy, now is not the time to say, oh, well, this guy's 3 years younger. You're 2 weeks away.
Yeah. I
want mindsets to change. If you are listening to
Yeah.
this and you're thinking, I have a vet who would really help me win right now, but I could get a younger guy
yeah.
who's
And
only
he
played
could help
fucking
me.
10 games,
Right.
who broke his leg in half.
Shit. Yeah.
We don't know if they go get somebody else. We have no idea.
No.
What you do know is that you're 2 wins away, and somebody like Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, these guys that are game-changing players, get them, compete. That is the end of the rant.
Yes.
There will be a part 2 as we get rebuttals from anybody who listened to that.
That's fair. We got a question while you were ranting. I love the rant. Hey guys, in a non-PPR, who should I pick? Ty Chandler, Tyjae Spears, Chase Brown, or Zamir White? For me, it is Chase Brown.
Chase Brown this week?
Chase Brown this week.
I will go Spears this week versus Houston.
Oh, yeah, because what? The Bengals have the Vikings? Yeah, it's Chase Brown for me. Chase Brown, for sure. He's had explosive plays. He's getting 8-9 touches a game. I think that increases. Yeah, I like Chase Brown.
Snap percentage around 30.
I think
believe.
I think he'll get up around 30. He's been
Tyjae
hovering-
Spears 50 to 55.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Tyjae's good. But I like Chase Brown's ability in that offense a little bit more.
All right.
Personally speaking. That's gonna do it for us heading into the fantasy playoffs. Make sure
Good luck,
you tweet
everybody.
at us. Follow us on Twitter at Losing Sucks and at Dustin Blanton. Good luck out there. Get to winning. We want to see those scores. Tweet at us, ask us questions, send us DMs. We'll respond. As always, losing sucks. Don't do it.